Guys, welcome back to my channel. So I am currently sat on my sofa and have been for the last 3 hours, and I have no plans to actually move today at all. So we are now, it's the 24th of Jan, so we're over 2 months into this journey, and oh my goodness, I was not expecting this. So it's been a bit of a weird journey in a way, because the first few weeks, they're almost like ramp up weeks. So your metabolism, obviously, when you've got an eating disorder, is literally on the floor because your body is doing everything it can to protect itself. So like the first few weeks was all about it ramping up, and I got into that hypermetabolism phase, and my hunger, it wasn't really like physical hunger, but mental hunger was starting to build. And I think the last video I did, I said at that time I was probably 2,500 calories. And I wasn't doing a lot of exercise, but I was doing some, and I can honestly say I felt the best I have felt in years. And then I went home for Christmas, and again, a bit of a weird time over Christmas. I hadn't really gained any weight still, but I was feeling really good. And then I remember it was the 28th of December was the day that the extreme hunger started for the first time. Now, one thing I will say is extreme hunger at the beginning was not as extreme as it is now. So I remember saying that I was on about 3,500 calories a day. So it just kept getting worse. And I tracked a day where I'd hit over 5,000. And I realised that mentally, knowing how much I was eating was doing me no good whatsoever. So I've completely scrapped any sort of tracking now. The extreme hunger is so big that I don't worry about under eating. And I think that if you're counting calories at this stage, you're actually restricting your progress. So I don't count calories anymore, but I can tell you that I'm eating way more than I was before. So I reckon some days now I'm potentially hitting 6,700 calories, 7,000 calories a day. But that is me just, ballpark adding. I think it's a lot more freeing to be able to go and pour your oats and not have to weigh it out. It's a lot more freeing to be able to go and put cheese on a pizza and not have to get your scales out, because that again is restriction and you're letting your eating disorder back in. So no more counting. And then that obviously eases the stress on calorie checking, on labels. I do occasionally struggle with that. I did have a bit of a situation yesterday when I was buying my Eclair. But in that situation where I kind of got stressed, I checked all the calorie labels. I made sure that I picked the one that was highest, because I feel like you have to, otherwise you're not really neurowiring at all. And I shouldn't have checked the labels to begin with. So I wanted to give a bit more information about the stage of the journey, I guess, that I'm on now, because it's all got a bit weird, really. So I mentioned I had that energy and then extreme hunger set in, and I was still doing the same amount of exercise that I was at the beginning of my recovery, if not probably actually a lot less, because I wasn't doing a lot to begin with, but I always said to myself that unless I felt 100%, there was no exercise. And then obviously I started to feel really pants. It was about 3 weeks ago, and I just I couldn't get through the day without having a nap. And I think I realised that the exercise wasn't helping. I would do a little bit of exercise and get the most intense extreme hunger, then have to nap. And it was becoming a bit of a vicious cycle. So I was finding that I was then having 2 days off a week, and then I was having 3 days off a week. And I think I realised that this was it wasn't really bringing me any joy anymore. And if it's not bringing you joy, then it's not really actually benefiting you at all. So I decided last Sunday to completely cut the exercise out. Now, the reason I did this is firstly because my body was crying out for the rest. I think I was laid in bed last Saturday night and I was like, right, that is it, no more exercise. But I also realised that by exercising, I was artificially raising my cortisol levels, and obviously all my hormones are all flying around in a mess already and didn't really need any help from me. So I think the other thing I realised as well is exercise obviously gives you that sort of endorphins and adrenaline. And due to that, I wasn't really feeling any of the emotions that have built up, and they just disappeared. And I think that's not healthy either. So after a week off, I can honestly say I don't really feel that much better, but I know I'm doing the right thing. I burst into tears this morning and cried uncontrollably for a while, and I think a lot of the emotions came to the top, and I identified a lot of things that I've been bottling up for a long time that I'm definitely going to have to deal with at some point. At this point now, basically the reason I've got so tired is the body has actually started its healing work. So you gain a bit of weight to begin with, but it doesn't start healing until it's confident that food is going to keep coming in. Now, I'm still getting extreme night sweats, which is where the hormones are all over the place and trying to stabilise, which means I'm not sleeping amazingly, and then in turn it's making the fatigue even worse. So I know it's a journey, but it is incredibly hard, and it doesn't yet seem to be getting any easier, but I still know that I'm on the right path. So that's kind of where I am now, and I have no idea how long this part is going to last. I am really struggling having to sit indoors most of the day, and I'm really missing my sport. When I see everyone doing it, I feel really jealous, and it's really hard. But at the same time, I know that doing it right now wouldn't be the best thing for me, because I can feel my stress levels have fallen quite a long way, and I think it is really important for recovery. The other really weird thing that I've noticed is the brain almost like zones out a lot of the time, and I think it's a protection mechanism to sort of make you not go out and smash all your energy out, and it's really just like super weird. I don't really quite feel like myself. Like I can feel myself coming back at random points, but not in like a consistent way, and I still wake up in the morning and I'm incredibly tired, and as soon as I've had breakfast, extreme hunger just hits in straight away. And it doesn't matter how many times you go through it, like every day, it doesn't really get that much less distressing. You just have to trust that it's the right thing, and you're putting so much trust in your body that it is really hard. But then you've also abused it for such a long time that you kind of just have to weigh it up. You have to understand that your body doesn't want to be really full all the time. It just wants to get better. So all I can do is put my trust in that. So that is where I am at the moment. I wouldn't say I'm in a great place, but I think I need to look back over my top 10 tips for getting better, recovering from an eating disorder, and actually understand that it isn't going to happen overnight. And I think I underestimated quite how ill I got as well. And I think that's really come to my realisation in the last few weeks. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.